Hello friends, in this video tutorial we are going to learn how to add or remove dynamic select box into form dynamically by using Jquery and how to insert multiple dynamic select box data into MySQL table by using Ajax with PHP. We have already made video tutorial on add or remove input field dynamically by using Jquery Ajax with PHP, but there are some viewers request us to made video tutorial on add or remove dynamic select box data. So here we have developed simple application in which we will store simple order data with multiple item details like name, quantity and unit. Here unit value we will get from dynamic select box data, and after this we will store into MySQL table. Now let's start learning this topic. This is our testing for database in which we have two table like unit table and order items table. In unit table has two table column like united and unit name. In this table we have already inserted some unit data into this table. We will fetch data from table and fill into drop down list box. We have one another table order items with 5 table column like order items id, order id, item name, item quantity and item unit. We will insert data into this table. This is our index page, and on this page we have already included JavaScript library Jquery link and Bootstrap library link on this page. Now we have moved to write HTML code. So first we have make one form, so we have type form tag with attribute method is equal to post and it is equal to insert form. Under this form we want to include multiple item, so we have defined one HTML table with attribute it is equal to item table. We will add dynamic item data into this table. Under this form we have 4 table heading like enter item name, enter quantity, select unit, and in last column we have defined one button for add blank row for enter item details. So here we have write button tag with attribute type is equal to button, name is equal to add, class is equal to add. By click on this button we can add new blank row for enter item detail dynamically. Lastly, in form we have defined input type is equal to submit button, with attribute name is equal to submit and value is equal to insert. By clicking on this button we can save item data into table. Now we have moved to write PHP code for fill select box with unit data. So here first we have make database connection by writing $connect variable is equal to new.do object with MySQL host is equal to localhost and database name is equal to testing4, username set to root and password set to blank. After making database connection now we have defined one function fill unit select box with object $connect variable. This function will fill unit select box with unit table data. Under this function we have defined $output variable is equal to blank value. Under this value we will store unit table data in HTML format. After this we have write $query variable is equal to select star from unit table and order by unit name in ascending order. This simple select query for fetch unit table data. Below this we have write $statement variable is equal to $connect variable with prepare statement, and under this we have write $query variable. This statement will prepare query for execution. Now we want to execute query, so we have write $statement variable with execute method. This method will execute select query. After executing query, Now we want to get result of query execution, so we have write $result variable is equal to $statement variable with fetch all method. This method will return query execution result which we have stored into $result variable. Now we have write for each loop with condition like $result variable as $row variable. By using for each loop we can fetch data from $result variable. Under this loop we have write $output variable, and in this we have append HTML code like option tag with attribute value is equal to $row unit name variable, and in option text also we have write $row unit name variable. This code will make select box data from unit table and store into $output variable. Now we want to return output of this function, so we have write return statement with $output variable. Now we have moved to write Jquery code for add blank table row into item table when we have click on add button, so here we have write $document selector with on method, and under this we have write click event with button class add. So when we have click on add button this code will execute. Under this we have define one HTML variable is equal to blank value. Under this variable we will store HTML code for append blank table row for enter item details. After this we have write HTML variable, and in this we have append HTML code like open table row tag. Then after we have again write HTML variable, and in this we have append HTML code like open and closed table data tag, and between this we have write input type is equal to text with attribute name is equal to item name class is equal to item name. Here user can enter item name. Below this we have write HTML variable, and in this we have append HTML code like open and closed table data tag, and between this we have write input type is equal to text with attribute name is equal to item quantity and class is equal to item quantity. Here user can enter item quantity details. For select unit we have write HTML variable, and in this we have append HTML code like open and closed table data tag, and between this we have write select tag with attribute name is equal to item unit and class is equal to item unit. From here user can select item unit data. Fulfill this select box with value, so we have write echo statement and called fill unit select box function with $connect variable argument. This function will fill unit select box with data. Lastly we want to define remove button in table row. So we have write HTML variable, and in this we have append HTML code like open and closed table data tag, and between this we have write button type is equal to button name is equal to remove and class is equal to remove. By clicking on this button we can remove particular table row with data from item table. And lastly we have write close table row tag. So our HTML code is ready for append blank table row, which we have stored into HTML variable. Now we want to append into item table, so we have write $ with table id item table with append method, and in this we have write HTML table variable. This code will append blank table row into item table. Now we have moved to write remove table row code, so here we have write $ with document selector with on method, and under this we have write click event with button class remove. So when we have click on remove button this code will execute. Under this we have write $this with closest method, and under this we have write table row tag with remove method. This code will remove particular table row when we have click on that row remove button. Now we have check output in browser. Friends, we can see when page has been loaded into browser. So we can see simple table heading with one add button and one submit button. So when we have click on add button, then one blank row has been appended into table with form field like text box, select box and one remove button. Now we want to remove this row, so we have click on remove button. After click on remove button, table row has been removed from table. That means our code is working. So now we have moved to proceed for submit form data. So here we have write $with form mid insert form with on method, and under this we have write submit event. So when we have click on submit button, then code will execute. Under this first we have write event argument with prevent default method. This method will prevent to submit form data. Below this we have define one error variable is equal to blank value. Under this variable we will store error messages. First we want to validate all item name text box has been filled or not. So we have write $with text box class item name with each method. This method will check all text box with class item name. Under this we have define one count variable is equal to 1. We will increment value of this variable and we will use this variable value to display error on particular row. After this we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $this with value method is equal to blank value. This code will check particular text box has some value or not. If text box has no value, then it will execute if block of code. Suppose text box has no value, then it will execute if block of code, and under this we have write error variable, and in this we have append error message like enter item name at particular row and row value get from count variable. And lastly in this block we have write count variable is equal to count variable plus 1. Here we have increase count variable by 1 on every interval. Above code will check item name text box has some data or not. Now we want to check item quantity text box has some value or not. So we have write $with text box class item quantity with each method. This method will check all text box with class item quantity. Under this we have define one count variable is equal to 1. We will increment value of this variable and we will use this variable value to display error on particular row. After this we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $this with value method is equal to blank value. This code will check particular item quantity text box has some value or not. If text box has no value, then it will execute if block of code. Suppose item quantity text box has no value, then it will execute if block of code, and under this we have write error variable, and in this we have append error message like enter item quantity at particular row and row value get from count variable. And lastly in this block we have write count variable is equal to count variable plus 1. Here we have increase count variable by 1 on every interval. Lastly we want to validate we have select any unit from item unit select box. So we have write $with text box class item unit with each method. This method will check all text box with class item unit. Under this we have define one count variable is equal to 1. We will increment value of this variable and we will use this variable value to display error on particular row. After this we have write if statement, and under condition we have write $this with value method is equal to blank value. This code will check particular item unit select box has some value or not. If select box has no value, then it will execute if block of code. Suppose item unit select box has no value, then it will execute if block of code, and under this we have write error variable, and in this we have append error message like select item unit at particular row and row value get from count variable. And lastly, in this block we have write count variable is equal to count variable plus 1. Here we have increase count variable by 1 on every interval. After validate form field, so now we have defined one form data variable is equal to $this with serialize method. This method will convert form data into URL encoded string and store into form data variable. Now we have write if statement, and under condition we have write error variable is equal to blank value. This condition will check if this variable has no value, then it will execute if block of code, otherwise it will execute else block of code. Suppose error variable has some value, that means there is some field has no value, so we want stop to submit form and display error message. So for display error message here we have defined one span tag with attributed is equal to error. For display error variable value under this span tag, so we have write $with span tag id error with HTML method, and under this method we have write error variable value. This code will display error under this span tag id error. But suppose error variable value is blank, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write Ajax request for submit form data to server. So in Ajax request we have write first option URL set to insert.php. Here we have send request to this page. In second option we have write method, and in this we have write post. So here we have use post method for send form data to server. In third option we have write data option. In this option we can define which data we want send to server, so here we have write form data variable in which we have store form data in URL encoded form. Lastly we have write success callback function. This function has been called if request completed successfully, and this function will receive data from server which we can access from this data argument. Under this function we have write if statement, and under condition we have write data variable value is equal to OK. This condition will check if this data variable value is equal to OK, then it will execute if block of code. Under this block first we want to remove all table row except table header row, so we have write $with table id item table with find method, and under this we have write table row tag 0 index with remove method. This code will remove all table row from item table except table row. Lastly we want to display success message under span tag with id error, so here we have write $with span tag id error with HTML method, and under this we have write item details saved method. This message will be display after successfully item details insert into table. Now we have moved to write PHP code for insert data into order items table. So here we have write if statement, and under condition we have write isit function with $post item name variable. This condition will check if this variable value is set or not. If this variable value is set, then it will execute if block of code, and under this block first we have make database connection. After making database connection, now here we have defined $order id variable is equal to unique id function. This function generates a unique ID based on a microtime. After this we have write for loop with $count variable value is equal to 0, $count variable value must be less than value of count $post item name variable, and $count variable value must be increased by 1. By using for loop we can access all array of item data like item name, quantity and unit. Under this loop we have write $query variable is equal to insert into order items table with column like order id, item name, item quantity and item unit with values like :order id, item name, item quantity and item unit. This is insert query for insert into table. Now we have write $statement variable is equal to $connect variable with prepare statement, and under this we have write $query variable. This statement will prepare query for execution. Now we want to execute query with data, so we have write $statement variable with execute method. This method will execute insert query. Under this method we have get :ordered value has been get from $ordered variable. In all items we have store same ordered for finding items a particular ordered. Item name key value has been get from $post item name variable with $count variable value index. Same way item quantity key value has been get from $post item quantity variable with $count variable value index. And lastly item unit key value has been get from $post item unit variable with $count variable value index. After execute insert query, now we want to get result of query execution, so we have write $result variable is equal to $statement variable with fetch all method. This method will return query execution result. Now we want to check data properly inserted or not, so we have write if statement, and under condition we have write isit function with $result variable. This condition will check if this $result variable value set or not. If $result variable value is set, that means data properly inserted into table and it will execute if block of code, and under this block we have write echo statement with OK. This output has been sent to Ajax request. Now our code is ready, so we have save this code and check output in browser. Friends, on browser we have already seen simple table with add new row button and remove button. Now we want to insert item details and save into MySQL table. So we have refresh browser and click on add row button. After click on add row button, new row has been appended into table with text box for enter item name, quantity and dynamic select box for select item unit. So in item name we have enter mouse, item quantity we have enter 5, and from unit select box we have select number from unit. Now we want to add one more row for new item, so click on add row button, and after then in item name we have enter keyboard, in item quantity we have enter 5, and from item unit select box we have select number. So this way we can enter details of multiple item. Same way we have add one more row and enter details. In item name we have enter mineral water, in item quantity we have enter 10, and from item unit select box we have select number. But now we want to remove last row, so we have simply click on that row remove button, and after click on remove button that row has been removed from table. Now we want to save this item details into MySQL table. So we have click on insert button, and after clicking on insert button all item details has been saved into table, and we have received item data saved message on web page. So here are code on how to add or remove multiple dynamic select box data into MySQL table by using Ajax Jquery with PHP. This type of feature mainly used when in our web application there are more than one data saved into table. Then at that time we can use this type of code to insert multiple data with dynamic select box by using Ajax Jquery with PHP. If you have any query regarding this video tutorial part, please comment your query in comment box, and if you like this video tutorial please share with your friends, or even you can also share on social media also. If you want to get more update regarding our video tutorial, please subscribe our YouTube channel for get more update regarding release of future video. Lastly, keep watching our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this video tutorial.